In this episode, we talk about the Chhattisgarh liquor scam. We also talk about heightened security and mosques being covered in Uttar Pradesh's Sambhal and other districts on the occasion of Holi. But first, we talk about the BJP's plans for the South. Hi, I am Niharika Nanda, and you are listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. After coming to power in Haryana, Maharashtra and Delhi with Uttar Pradesh firmly secured under Yogi Adityanath's leadership and feeling confident about Bihar, the BJP's attention is now on the south, a region it has been trying to gain a foothold in for years. At the moment, the only southern state where the party has some influence is Andhra Pradesh, and that too through its alliance partner, the Telugu Desam Party. The opposition parties, including the DMK, the CPI and the Congress, are well aware of the BJP's ambitions and will work to secure their position. But what would it take for the BJP to win a southern state like Tamil Nadu or Kerala, and what challenges lie ahead of it? To discuss this and more, my colleague Shashank Bhargava speaks to veteran journalist Neerja Chowdhury, a contributing editor for the Indian Express.
Neerja, can you talk about just the kind of attempts the BJP has made in the recent past to grab a foothold in the South?
Look, the BJP has been eyeing the South for a while now. They had managed to form a government in Karnataka, but that they did by breaking the Congress-led government. And that had given them a toehold in the South. But then the Congress won this time in the elections, but that is Karnataka. Tamil Nadu, with Annamalai being the BJP chief in the state, who's regarded well, he's very hardworking. Apparently, he gets up at 3-4 in the morning, is out meeting people, and he's tried to set up the party. But in the election, though the BJP improved its vote share, it did not get the kind of tally it had hoped for in the Lok Sabha elections. So I think they need to probably go in for a different strategy. In Kerala also, the BJP has been working very hard. Prakash Javadekar was there, he had camped there and so on. But again, they don't seem to have cut much ice. What has been a kind of consolation prize is that TDP, the ally of BJP in the NDA, managed to get a government in Andhra Pradesh. Telangana also, the Congress wrested from BRS. And so I think South is where they are now looking. East, of course, they managed to get Orissa. They haven't yet managed to get Bengal, West Bengal. So South is high on the agenda now of the BJP, particularly with no elections down the line in the North or the West. It's only Bihar year end. And it's really going to be economics and foreign policy that is going to dominate political discourse between now and the end of the year.
And when we talk about the BJP, one thing that many point out is that its ideology and sort of where the party comes from is at odds with many of the other parties in the South, like the DMK and CPI. And Hindi imposition, for example, is a big part of that. And, earlier this month, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, M.K. Stalin, he suddenly went ballistic against the centre's new education policy. And what he was trying to say was that, this is another attempt by the centre to impose Hindi on the southern states. So could you talk about how big of a concern this particular issue continues to be for the BJP, this Hindi imposition?
Look, in the 60s, in the early 60s and the mid 60s, when Congress in 67 lost power in Tamil Nadu for the first time, and then, of course, it's the Dravidian parties that took over, and the Congress never got back into power in Tamil Nadu after that. Anti-Hindi riots and violence had great traction. There was a reaction to it in Tamil Nadu. Now, the question in my mind and I'm talking to people in Tamil Nadu, will anti-Hindi sentiment have a similar kind of resonance in Tamil Nadu as it did in the 60s? Now, some people say yes, some people say we don't know. I think so. But MK Stalin has taken a very strident position against the new economic policy and the three language formula. At the moment, it is causing a lot of unhappiness in parliament, and with the DMK and other opposition parties behind the DMK, they're protesting outside parliament, and they have taken exception to the words used by the education minister, calling the DMK and its position dishonest, undemocratic, uncivilized, which had them up in arms. And I think the way the BJP has handled this whole language thing, the three language formula and the NEP, the education policy, I think it required, greater behind the scenes talks and fine-tuning the agreement and consciousness that the DMK would be looking for issues and that have traction in the coming elections. So I don't know how they're going to get out of it, but it is a difficult one. Language is always imposition of Hindi. Hindi imposition is something that Tamil Nadu in particular and the southern states have been very sensitive about and very, wary about.
Right. In fact, the other thing that has actually just happened is that ahead of its budget, the Tamil Nadu government has replaced the Devanagari rupee symbol with the Tamil rupees letter in their logo. And this new logo was released by MK Stalin's office on Thursday afternoon. So that's yet another pushback from the state government. And actually, even besides the Hindi imposition, of course, the other big issue when it comes to the South is also delimitation, right? Because last week, most political parties across Tamil Nadu, they came together for an all-party meeting, which was called by Stalin at the state secretariat to oppose the delimitation of parliamentary constituencies, which is due next year. And I mean, so many parties coming together for something was a rarity in that sense.
I think for a while now, I know for even a couple of years, I've heard whenever I've traveled to the South, I've heard people talk about this, the possibility of the number of seats in the Lok Sabha and legislatures reducing in the southern states, because what they say, they have managed to control their population, their policies on education and health have been much better than in the north, and the population in the northern states have increased, and therefore they are likely in the delimitation exercise to get larger number of seats in the Lok Sabha, which means that the clout of the northern states vis-a-vis national politics is going to increase. Now that may suit the BJP, which has a grip over North Indian states, the Hindi heartland states, but will be to the disadvantage of the southern states. To my mind, that is a time bomb ticking away, even more than the language policy.
Right, and we've been talking about Tamil Nadu, but the other state the BJP has had its eye on is Karnataka, which it had actually won earlier by breaking up the government, but then the Congress party again came to power. Now, in your piece, you point out that earlier this month at the Isha Yoga Center near Coimbatore, at its annual mega celebrations of Shivratri, we saw Congress leader and the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, DK Shivkumar, sharing a stage with Jaggi Vasudev. And this was an event where even Amit Shah was present. Did that indicate that the Congress party is still dealing with a lot of infighting in the state?
Well, it's a very tough one, this one. If it is true, I don't know whether it is, that the Congress High Command promised DK Shivkumar chief ministership at the end of 2.5 years in a rotational arrangement, which, by the way, never works, has not worked so far, then naturally he will be restive. And he's not a leader who can be dismissed. He's not just the backroom boy doing your troubleshooting. He's not just a fund collector raising money for the party. He's also a leader of the Vokaliga community, which is powerful in Karnataka. And this time around, what was very interesting is by going to Isha Yoga Center, sitting by the side of Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, he said, "This is my faith." And he, by the way, also gone to Mahakumbh and had a dip at the Sangam. So he's saying, the words he uses, I was born a Hindu, I'm going to die a Hindu. So he was underlining his Hindu identity also. By the way, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge urged both Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar to move in step. So openly acknowledged that there were some tensions out there. But D.K. Shivakumar is savvy enough to know that if he is made the chief minister at this stage of the game, Siddaramaiah could walk out and that may bring the government down. So the question being asked is D.K. Shivakumar trying to make sure that he retains his deputy chief ministership as well as the presidentship of the party in Karnataka, because the Congress party has been talking about the one person, one post principle. So is he strengthening his position, both, the Hindu identity added to his other identities, as well as hoping to retain both these positions to fight another day, for whatever that day comes sooner or later?
And after this incident, naturally people were thinking that maybe DK Shivkumar is thinking about joining the BJP, or maybe he's just giving a signal to the Congress leadership that he's not happy. What did you make of this?
I don't know what the BJP will offer him. That is better than what he has today, unless the BJP gives him a Himanta Biswa Sarma role in the entire South. Or will Shashi Tharoor, he's ruled this out. Can he go to the BJP? What will the BJP offer him? Which is better than the position he has. And he's ideologically taken very firm position. So it'll be very difficult for somebody like him, who's an intellectual, to justify this kind of a switchover. So I think, are they just bargaining with their own party leadership? And why should they not? The high command has to put to use all the talent that it has to the fullest and give attention to that.
Right. And when we are talking about Congress leaders in the South, the other controversy that took place a few weeks back involved Shashi Tharoor. Now, in an interview with the Indian Express, he said that opinion polls by independent organizations had shown that he was ahead of other leaders in Kerala. And then he said that if the party wants to use that, I will be there for the party. If not, I have my own things to do. You should not think that I have no other option. I have my books, speeches, invitations from across the world. So could you talk about the kind of hold the Congress party has in Kerala, and what do Tharoor's comments reveal?
Normally in Kerala, you have after 5 years a change of government. That's been, the tendency. But the left parties won there last time again. And this time around, the Congress hopes very much that the ground situation is moving in their favor and they have a good chance to come to power. Now, Shashi Tharoor is a popular figure. As you said, he cited, agencies which had put him ahead of other leaders. And I've seen this myself, when you go to any lit fest, you have large queues of people from outside. It's not only the delegates and the authors. A large number of young people come. They want to talk to him. They want to get his book signed by him. So he has a following amongst the intelligentsia, the professional class, the middle class. There is no doubt about that. There is also, few would disagree that he should be used much more. His services should be put to use much more by his party than has been the case. Now, should the party declare him as its chief ministerial candidate? Many people in the party feel that Dr. Shashi Tharoor was angling for that when he made those comments. Now, the interesting part of the story, whether they do it or not, the reaction that would come from the state unit of the party, I don't think they will welcome that. There may be other contenders, or they may not just announce any chief minister for the election next year. But the interesting thing is that normally Rahul Gandhi, when people leave, threaten to leave the party, his thing is, if they want to go, let them go. In this case, he immediately met Tharoor. And after that, Tharoor calmed down. But yes, Shashi Tharoor his services should be utilized much more. He has a lot to contribute. He has an understanding of domestic politics, global issues, as a few people have in parliament today. And he speaks Hindi. He's, quite fluently, according to me. Of course, he spoke in Malayalam. So, the Congress party not doing it is, doing itself a disservice.
And Neerja, lastly, when we talk about the BJP, which southern state do you think the party has the best chance of coming to power in?
Karnataka. Tamil Nadu is going to be a long haul. Remember, BJP is not put off by long hauls. Even if it takes them the next 10 years, they will, put the best foot forward now. They'll give it all they've got. That is the character of a party. It's a party new to power. It's a party with a hunger for power. And it's put its eggs in the Annamalai basket. And Annamalai, people have, across the political divide, people have regard for him in Tamil Nadu. But Karnataka is the state where they think it can happen for them because it's happened in the past. Kerala is another state they will build slowly. Telangana is a state where they could have a chance, but the Congress picked them to the post. There was a time, when I had gone 2.5 years ago, when people used to say that the fight was between KCR and the BJP. Congress, nobody would talk about. And then Congress moved into the picture very swiftly because it has a pan-state presence. And so I think the BJP will strengthen its efforts and step up its efforts in all the southern states. But Karnataka is the low-hanging fruit for it.
And next we talk about Chhattisgarh. On 10th March, the Enforcement Directorate conducted searches in connection with the alleged Chhattisgarh liquor scam, which came to light back in 2022. The search locations included 14 spots in Chhattisgarh's Durg district, along with the residences of former Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel and his son. The ED said, quote, "The search premises are related to ex-CM Bhupesh Baghel, including the residence of his son Chaitanya Baghel and also close associates of Chaitanya Baghel," unquote. According to the sources, the ED has gathered information that Chaitanya Baghel allegedly received proceeds of crime generated from the liquor scam. In this segment, the Indian Express's Jayprakash S. Naidu joins us to talk about the Chhattisgarh liquor scam, the investigations and the reasons behind conducting searches at the former CM's residence. Jayprakash, can you begin by talking about the Chhattisgarh liquor scam?
Yeah, so the alleged liquor scam took place somewhere between 2019 to 2022 when the Congress party was in power in Chhattisgarh. A total of 2,161 crores of taxpayers' money was pocketed by a syndicate comprising of politicians, senior government officials and private businessmen. These are allegations of the ED. So this syndicate, they altered the liquor policy in the state and created a parallel system to sell liquor. Then the Chhattisgarh State Marketing Corporation Limited, it procured liquor only from those company paying a commission to the syndicate, and a major portion of this commission went to the Congress party as per the ED allegations. But again, ED has not named the Congress party. It has said the party which was in power, that is Congress. Then the syndicate sold kacha liquor, that is domestic liquor, and this illicit liquor was manufactured and sold through CSMCL run shops. That is Chhattisgarh State Marketing Corporation Limited run shops. And for this duplicate liquor, distillers got bottles and holograms from the syndicate. These allegations have been made by ED in their prosecution complaint before a special PMLA court.
Right, and how was the scam brought to light?
Yeah, so back in 2022, Income Tax Department unearthed this scam and filed a prosecution complaint, or you can say charge sheet, before a court against few of the accused in the liquor scam. And after this charge sheet was filed, the ED came into the picture and they started probing the money laundering aspect of the scam.
So who are the major players in the scam? Tell us about the investigation, and have any arrests been made yet?
So far, ED has made allegations against former excise minister in the former government, that is Kawasi Lakma. Then there's a private businessman named Anwar Dhebar, who is a big real estate developer here in Raipur. And he is the brother of former Raipur mayor and Congress leader Ejaz Dhebar. Then there is one retired IAS. His name is Anil Tuteja. He worked as a joint secretary in the industries department. And then there was a IAS officer named Arunpati Tripathi. Arunpati Tripathi was the managing director of CSMCL. So these were the major players in the alleged liquor scam. And all of them have been arrested. Apart from these major players, a total of 70 accused are there in this case, which includes excise officials and politicians and others.
But Jay, if former CM Baghel isn't a major player, why were searches conducted at his residence?
So this is the first time that raids have been conducted at former CM Baghel's residence, and the ED sources have said that they had received information that his son Chaitanya Baghel had received proceeds of the crime in the liquor scam case.
Right. And what kind of a reaction did this incident receive from the Congress party and Bhupesh Baghel himself?
Yeah, so when the raids were taking place, a lot of MLAs from the Congress party went and camped outside Baghel's bungalow in Bhilai, and even Congress workers, they started creating fracas over there. They were chanting slogans against the BJP and the ED, and one stone was also pelted on a vehicle hired by the ED officials. An FIR was registered in this regard. After all this happened, after the ED left, Bhupesh Baghel came out of his residence and he addressed the media and his supporters. He said that the reason why his house got raided was because he had asked questions to Deputy Chief Minister Vijay Sharma in the Legislative Assembly. These questions were related to the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and he also said that before him it was Kawasi Lakma who had asked uncomfortable questions to Deputy Chief Minister Arun Sao, and that's the reason why he was arrested. And now after he asked some uncomfortable questions to the BJP in the Legislative Assembly, the ED was sent to his house. He also said that the BJP is frustrated that he got discharged in a sex CD case last week. So there was this case back in 2017 where a fake sex CD case of a former minister was circulated, and the minister had alleged that it was Baghel who had done it. So he was saying that after he got acquitted, not acquitted exactly, he got discharged in the case, and that's the reason why BJP was frustrated with him.
And according to him, that is why the BJP got the ED to conduct these searches?
Yeah.
Right. So, Jayprakash, what has the investigation revealed till now, and what is the current situation?
So, after arresting former Excise Minister Lakma in January this year, ED said that he received kickbacks of rupees 72 crore in the scam, and he allegedly used some of the money to build a Congress office in his district and a home for his son in his home district, that is Sukma. And overall, the ED has attached assets totaling up to 205 crores. This includes assets of the accused, like some properties of Mr. Debar. And the investigations are ongoing. The second ECIR was registered last year after the BJP came to power, and after that the investigations are still going on.
And in the end, we talk about heightened security in certain districts of UP on the occasion of Holi. With Holi falling on Friday during the Islamic holy month of Ramzan, and amid remarks by a section of ruling BJP leaders and administrative officials instructing Muslims to stay indoors if they have an issue with getting colors, mosques in various districts of Uttar Pradesh were covered in tarpaulin. Prominent Muslim clerics in the state have also revised the timings for Friday prayers, which will now be held after 2 p.m. On Wednesday, several mosques in the hypersensitive Sambhal district, which has been in the news for the past few months over the court-ordered survey of Shahi Jama Masjid, were covered with tarpaulin sheets. In Shahjahanpur district, more than 75 mosques and shrines have been covered with tarpaulin or clothes. The district happens to be the only place where there's a tradition of playing Juta Maar Holi, which means playing Holi using shoes or slippers. President of Sambhal Shahi Jama Masjid, Zafar Ali, announced that Friday prayers on 14th of March will be held at 2:30 p.m. due to Holi celebrations. Ali urged members of both the communities to celebrate Holi and offer Friday prayers in a harmonious atmosphere. Regarding the administration's move to cover mosques with tarpaulin, Ali welcomed the decision, stating that it was a positive step. During Juta Maar Holi, which has been played since pre-independence years to protest against the then British rulers, people take out a procession of a dummy Lat Sahab, which was a term used for British officers back then, with a garland of shoes and slippers around his neck. As the procession moves, people on the way throw shoes and slippers at the dummy Lat Sahab. A senior officer at the DGP headquarters, who is a part of the team monitoring security arrangements, told the Indian Express that senior officers would escort the traditional procession of Lat Sahab. The senior officer said, quote, "To avoid any law and order situation arising out of throwing of shoes and slippers, all the mosques and shrines have been covered properly." Unquote. The security has been heightened, including barricades being installed along the procession route and several CCTV cameras being installed by the local administration. The PTI quoted the Superintendent of Police Rajesh S. saying, quote, There are 18 Holi processions in the city, including the two major Lat Sahib processions. To ensure security, the large procession has been divided into 3 zones and 8 sectors, with around 100 magistrates deployed. Unquote. The SP added that police has taken preventive action against 2,423 people to deter potential troublemakers, and that the security deployment includes 10 police circle officers, 250 sub-inspectors and around 1,500 police personnel and 2 companies of provincial armed constabulary. Similarly, in districts like Mathura, Ayodhya, Varanasi, Meerut, Muzaffarnagar, Saharanpur, Muradabad, Rampur, Aligarh, Agra, Kanpur, Gonda, Bhareich and Siddharthnagar, additional paramilitary forces have been deployed. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar and produced by Shashank, Bhargava and me, Niharika, Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Audio and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.